Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn and welcome to the channel. We have some more reaction content for you, and today we are checking out the reveal trailer for VHS. And I don't know what VHS stands for anything, because my brain just thinks of those VHS cassette tapes that we watched movies on, if you're old enough to know what a VHS is. Anyway, and maybe that's what they're going for here. I'll also do a quick check, and I should have checked before I started this, if there's any other footage for VHS. The only thing I've heard about VHS at this point is that it is a asymmetric PvP game in terms of, like, you have one person versus four people, and I've heard people being like, it's competition for Dead by Daylight, and then I've also had people that are like Dead by Daylight veterans being like, no, it's not. Shh. But, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is. It looks like it'd be on pause on a tape from the logo. Yeah, maybe. Home video system. So, what is VHS? Video home system? I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know how much gameplay is actually shown in this. I know that there has been a very limited closed beta that had its own issues since this reveal trailer has come out, and I didn't see anything for it. So we'll just find out together? Yeah, all right. Without further ado, let's begin. Get pulled into TVs. Oh god, you can play as like Chucky. That was definitely meant to be a doll running with scissors. It does look like you can fight back, and I also kind of get the impression that that is actually the goal. Like, I didn't see anything in terms of, like, so when we talk about, like, Dead by Daylight competition, if you have not played Dead by Daylight, it is an asymmetric PvP horror game where four people are trying to escape and one person is trying to murder the other four people. And you have to repair generators to power up the exit gates in order to actually escape from the killer. And this looks less like Dead by Daylight, and it looks more like most of the rest of the asymmetric games that exist out there. Things like Predator Hunting Grounds, things like Evolve, things like Friday the 13th, where instead of having a task that you're doing as, we'll just call them for the sake of this, the survivors versus the killer. This looks like what most of the other ones have done, where you are literally more verse one another rather than being pursued by the one as the four. So it looks like instead of trying to do a task so that you can get away and that's what your goal is, instead you're trying to avoid being caught while you build Molotovs and lightsabers and force fields and guns and stuff so that you can defeat the person who is solo, who is by themselves. And that's what most of these games have done. Like, and that's one thing that does definitely set Dead by Daylight apart, in that Dead by Daylight, your goal is not to defeat the killer. It is to avoid the killer, to not be seen, not be caught, not be killed, and complete your objective so that you can run away. This, you are fighting back. At least it looks like you're fighting back. I didn't see them doing anything that looked like they were doing anything beyond trying to prepare to be able to take down the killer, whether it's a werewolf or Chucky or whatever. Dead by Daylight, the Home Alone edition. Survivors are all Kevin McAllister. Sort of, yeah. But I can see why the people that are like really heavy Dead by Daylight veterans are like, this is not Dead by Daylight competition. Just because it is 1v3, 1v4, or whatever, it functions differently because your goal is not to complete an objective so that you can get away. Your goal is to defeat the killer. That is a 17-minute long video. I was hoping for a gameplay trailer. You are called the Teens. The Teens versus the killer. Okay, well, I don't want to watch another content creator for 20 minutes to show me how the game works. Maybe we'll pick one and just kind of scoot through for a minute. I'm not going to play their audio. As a shout out to who I did click on, CeeLo Zaga, you were the one that I clicked on because it said gameplay preview. So set it to 2x speed. Sure. I'm still not going to be in there for that. That would still be 9 minutes. That hair though. Wow. Strike the monster with each stigma. So you need to burn them, hex them, electrocute them, and exorcise them? I'm going to guess that's what that is. So you need to get around the map, build the tools. Okay, and here's them running away from the killer, it looks like. That is a hilarious run animation. They actually have a life bar, and they got the hit burst from getting damaged. Looks like they're fighting the werewolf who has some sort of roar that's, like, scrambled them in some way. The aesthetic's pretty good, yeah. Okay, so they are hurt, and they're kind of healing. I think they were trying to heal, but the werewolf found them. The red X and the scramble, I think what that means is you're not able to do anything. There was a medical cabinet. Interesting. Okay, they're downed. Okay, so instead of what I thought before, what the fuck? Anyway, hold on. We can see, much like Dead by Daylight, we have a full health state, a wounded health state, and a downed health state. They went spectral and are trying... Wait, what was this? What did this say? Collect life essence to reduce recovery time. Interesting. Can you recover on your own, or do you need a special ability to do that? Okay, so they found that. They were being recovered by this person. They're trying to heal one another now. So there's very, very similar mechanics. So they're healing this person now. And the healing mechanic actually had like a mini game in it where you got to stay within this to heal them. Interesting. And that person had like a gun, and we can see that they did get one of the afflictions. They got fire marked off. So that person's up now. I wonder if the killer can get the afflictions off of them in some way. I like the visuals a lot. The run animation's a bit goofy. It did save the progress they had on the shock sphere, and it looks like they had alternatives to what weapon they get. Still a survivor versus killer, but not with the intent to escape, but to fight back. It looks like to fight back and defeat overall, because it said you need to hit the killer with 4 afflictions, which there was fire, shock, and I'm guessing this is like exorcism and a hex or something like that. So they're going around and they're charging up their shock device so that they can use it on the killer. Can we get to the point where they actually use it? Yes. And they're chasing the killer with it, and they hit him with it. So now they got that. So they got fire done and they got electric done. Moving forward. It's still just them running around. I feel like that's more in line with a true horror movie. It probably is, but it's also why people are saying this is not necessarily a direct competitor to Dead by Daylight, because your ultimate goal is very different. I wonder if the killer can dispel it. If they can, this killer has not done so in any way. They're still afflicted with both the burn and the shock. So it looks like... Okay, so hang on. I'm going to go back and we're going to slow this down. I didn't see when they got this, like... I'm going to call it a hex sword, okay? I don't know. I'm just going to call it a hex sword. But they have the hex sword. Okay, they're talking. Never mind. And they're trying to hit them. They have ammunition in the sword, and you can see it trying to fill the bar. It filled the bar, and so that one's done now. So all they need to do now, I'm going to call it purify instead of exercise. So burn, purify, hex, and shock. And they are fighting the werewolf. So you got to go around and both assemble the tools and then use them on the killer. So it's interesting, though, because they have health states, and then they also have this health bar. And I'm curious, I'm assuming if your health bar goes to 0, you're perma-dead. The monster is enraged. Okay, hang on. So Kenzo over here is low, kind of like the person we're following. Person we're following goes down, and they're trying to find life essence to recover. They get recovered by Kyle. And Kenzo is dead. Kenzo is dead. They cannot be... I'm guessing this means you cannot be healed anymore. And so instead of needing to do something special to... Like in Dead by Daylight, where they got to hook you 3 times to get rid of you, they just got to get your effective health to 0. And your effective health is different from your actual health state. I kind of like that, too. Variety. Plus, if it clicks, it means I can finally start from the beginning of the game. Before everyone's figured it out. But you burn calories when you exercise? Really? Okay, so they're healing themselves, but all healing does is actually change your health state. Nothing seems to be giving them actual life back. Okay, and you can see on their player icons here that if they go down again, they're dead. Whereas it looks like Chris here, if they go down, they probably won't be dead. I like that there's medical spots all over the place that you're able to heal yourself with. One other thing with like Dead by Daylight on the comparison is the ability to bring in objects. And it didn't look like it... I feel like one of them had a flashlight or maybe like a pistol. And I wonder if that allows them to do something in that way. Okay, so I'm going to turn the audio back on real quick.
Just wave at everyone on stream. You know what? Just get out of here, Ted.
Just get out of here? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder if they win. They've been doing really... Okay, so Chris had went down at some point in the time we skipped across. Radiant Cross. So he is trying to craft the last item that he needs. And if he's able to afflict the boss with it, then I believe that means they win. The werewolf is in there, though. Yes, somebody afflicted it with purity, and it died. Interesting. Okay. It is definitely very different from Dead by Daylight, which all the people are like, it's gonna kill Dead by Daylight. I understand now 100% why many of people have been like, no, it's not. But I like what it's offering. And one of the things is with Dead by Daylight largely has a monopoly on the formula, not just because they have like really big licenses and stuff like that, but also because everyone that has tried to do a game like this just has made it, I'm going to say made it overly complicated, especially looking at games like Friday the 13th, or they made really bad business decisions in the case of like Evolve. And as long as they don't get too carried away with this, while I don't necessarily believe it will be the Dead by Daylight killer, I could see it having the potential to just be another game in the asymmetric space that could potentially do well and survive well. So my expectations were low based on what everyone had told me up to this point, but I like the look of it. I know that the closed beta had some serious problems. Like at one point there was literally 5 people playing because just no one could connect to the servers. But that's what you have closed betas for, is to try and get things like that resolved and worked out and stuff like that. I'm curious about the number of killers, the variety of gameplay. And what I mean by the variety is specifically what allows you to have more personalization in how you play. Because with Dead by Daylight, both the killers and the survivors have the same fundamental core gameplay, but the killers have their own abilities and powers, which it looks like we saw, the werewolf howling and stuff, and it looks like, Chucky has like a lunging freaking scissor attack, and I'm sure that each of the killers has something that makes them slightly different. And then the survivors, or in this case the teens, what makes them different? Because with Dead by Daylight, you have perks that allow you to change what you are necessarily good at, whether it's like you heal your friends faster, you can see your friends through walls, you craft/repair things better. There was a hooked one too, Candyman. I doubt that they have any licensed properties, especially I don't know if Hellbent Games has made anything else. Guess what? We can find out. Let's find out. Bound and Determined since 2006. They've been around. These are the people that made Supreme Commander. Interesting. As well as some Lego games. Okay. Well, at least they have some experience under their belt. It doesn't look like they have a lot of experience in this space, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine. So, I'm at least interested. Do we have a release date or an early access date or anything at all? In VHS, hang on. In VHS, you'll choose between good and evil and fight for your life in this thrilling 4v1 asymmetric action tribute to the 80s horror era, where small-town teens face off against terrifying monsters, brought to life from the aisles of their local video store. VHS combines tense 4v1 gameplay with stunning set-inspired maps, over-the-top weapons, and an endless array of colorful characters and costumes. No two matches are the same, as power shifts unpredictably between teens and monsters, ending in a dramatic fight-to-the-death climax. In between sessions, unlock an ever-expanding VHS shelf filled with new monsters, teens, and maps, along with extended and director's cut challenges, and limited edition free cosmetics to become the ultimate player, collector, and fan. How do you join the club? Register to join our upcoming beta today at https://www.vhsgame.com. No release date, actually. VHS game release date. VHS on Steam. Coming soon. It will be early access. We expect to be in early access no longer than a year. Okay, but no actual time frame on anything here. Okay. Either way, it's something that 100% I will throw it on. Am I signed into Steam? No. All right. I'll throw it on my wish list later because I'd absolutely like to try this. I've played a lot of Dead by Daylight. I've enjoyed it a lot, and I'm always looking for more games. Obviously, after you play a shitload of a game, you're like, man, this game is still fun, but I'm kind of just rolling through it now, right? And I do that with Dead by Daylight. Game's still a lot of fun, but the game is more of something that I just kind of play now rather than I'm like really like getting into the nitty-gritty of it because it's still something new to me. So, yeah. What did you think, though? What did you think about VHS? Are you a fan of 1v4 asymmetric games? Are you a fan of Dead by Daylight? How do you feel about VHS as a game, about what we just saw, about what they're pitching at us? Do you think that it could be the Dead by Daylight killer, or do you think it can just exist alongside it with a gaming space for people that might not like the Dead by Daylight formula, but still like the concept of this 1v4 horror approach to what is ultimately a very underrepresented but very well-loved genre? What are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. If you want to keep up the conversation elsewhere, two great places to do so are on Discord and Twitter. And speaking of Discord, we actually have a channel dedicated to these reactions, so you can place trailers of your own that we can react to live on stream. We've been having this back and forth with chat because we do stream 4 days a week, and we do these live on stream. We stream Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I would love to see you there. But we're going to get out of here. We actually got another 1v4 asymmetric game to go check out right after this one, and that'll be posted up on the YouTube channel as well. So if you go check out one of those other YouTube videos, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy.